Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to compare the Perseus with the Hammerhead. Now, this is a request by one of you guys in the comment section to do a video on the larger gunships. And it's kind of interesting because CAG recently posted a new episode of Inside Star Citizen where they showed off a silhouette of a ship that looks very much like the Perseus. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video and kind of compare it to the Hammerhead a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this video into two parts where I talk a little bit about the stats and then the use cases. Of course, these comparisons are designed to give you guys an opportunity to decide which ship might be right for you. So they're not entirely going to be a one-to-one comparison. And the way that CIG designs and builds their ships is that each ship has something that's a little bit different about it that, doesn't make it a direct one-to-one comparison. So let's get right into this video. And to kick things off, I want to start with the Hammerhead. Now, the Hammerhead is a ship that has been in the game for a reasonable amount of time now. And for the longest time, it has been the kind of de facto capital ship for combat, right? If you wanted to do any type of content with a large group of players, most people would take out the Hammerhead. Now, the CAC was also a good option for this, but because the Hammerhead has so much firepower on it, it makes a lot of sense to get into. Now, stats wise, the Hammerhead is coming in at 115 meters long. It has two large shields. These are size 3 shields. It has two of them. Then it has 6 size 4 guns, 4 times on each turret. So each turret here has 4 size 4 guns, right? And there are 6 of them. 4, 2 on each side, and then 1 on top, and then 1 at the back here. So it's a lot of firepower, but these are all manned turrets, right? So you need a player in each of these seats. Then, in terms of ordnance, the Hammerhead has 32 size 3 missiles, okay? Then it has 40 SCU of cargo. It has a cargo elevator at the back in the engineering engine room here behind, or rather in front of this turret. And it's coming in at $725, right? So a few amenities on the Hammerhead that I do appreciate. It has a bunk room for the crew, it has a mess hall, it has a captain's quarters with a desk, something I really wasn't expecting. I do like the interior design of this ship. This ship looks very similar to the interior of the Idris because, of course, it is an Aegis ship. So it has that kind of interior design language. It has an underslung cockpit. The bridge of the ship, you have to go down an elevator to get to that. It has this kind of opening in the middle here. I'm not entirely sure, what this is used for. It's just a design feature, but this area does have windows to the outside, which I always appreciate ships that have windows. So the Hammerhead has a few amenities. I do appreciate it. It was the loner for longest time before the Polaris came out, so I did have a lot of time to spend with this ship. One of the things that I do have to say about the Hammerhead before we move on to the Perseus as well is that the Hammerhead is very maneuverable. It flies great and it is a lot of fun to fly. And that makes sense because it's designed to be a fighter screen, right? It needs to be maneuverable enough to put those gunners in position to take out very maneuverable fighter ships, light fighters, medium fighters, heavy fighters. The Hammerhead is designed to go in there and fight against those smaller ships. So it being more maneuverable than it would seem makes a lot of sense, right? Lastly, uh, early on, many people assumed that this ship would be like a shipbreaker. It would be able to bust to other ships, but CIG later revealed that in that promotional material, the ship had already been broken in half, and the Hammerhead was just flying through it. And CAG has since then, done very similar marketing material where, the Perseus had flown through a cut in half Hammerhead. So basically, the exact same scenario where there was a ship that was already broken in half, and the ship was flying through it. A lot of people were kind of annoyed by this marketing tactic because, they showed imagery of the Hammerhead breaking through ships, and then the Perseus came along and broke through the Hammerhead. But neither of these ships can pierce other ships. That was just promotional material to get people excited about the ship. I honestly think that type of promotional material does more of a disservice to the marketing of the ship than it does promote the ship, because it's something that the ship can't do, and it's probably something that you're not going to be doing much in the game. So, why advertise it or show that, imagery? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, neither of these ships are designed to ram other ships. That has been the official word by CAG for now. Don't know if that's going to change in the future with Maelstrom, but just kind of a little side note for me to put in there if you guys were planning on using these ships for that purpose. Now, moving on to the Perseus here. The Perseus is 100 meters long, so about 15 meters shorter than the Hammerhead. It has two size 3, two large shields, just like the Hammerhead, all right? It has two uh turrets with two size 7 guns on them. So there's a turret at the front here with two size 7s, and a turret on the bottom with two size 7s as well. These are both manned turrets. Okay. Then it has two turrets with two size 3s on them. Okay, so you have a remote turret up here with two size 3 ballistic Gatlings, and then one at the back as well. And yeah, these turrets can be automated in the promotional material for the Perseus. CIG mentioned that these turrets can either be remotely operated or automated. These are not, to my understanding, point defense turrets though. So I believe in this scenario they're talking about AI blades, which can be a bit confusing because CIG has also said that manned turrets will also be equipable with AI blades. So I really don't know the advantage or disadvantage of a remote turret versus a manned turret. In my personal opinion, I think it would be better if CIG didn't allow manned turrets to be bladed, because then it would create a bigger delineation between ships that have remote turrets and ships that have fully manned turrets. But it's essentially just a computer guided gimbal system when the human is controlling it. So strictly speaking, there's no reason why an AI blade wouldn't be able to control the manned turret. The technology more likely would be there to be able to do that. But again, at the end of the day, it kind of makes no difference for the Perseus, because if you could AI blade the large size 7 man turret at the front, why wouldn't you just do that, right? I would, rather than putting a player in that seat that, could die. The other player could be in a whole other ship. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Then on top of that armament, it also has 20 size 5 torpedoes, right? So these torpedoes are very similar to the Retaliator's torpedoes. And if you guys know how effective the Retaliator's torpedoes are, or the Eclipse's torpedoes, these are going to be serious torpedoes, right? 20 size 5s. Uh, a lot of people are very interested in this ship because of that dual purpose, right? You could use it as a torpedo boat, or you could use it as a gunship strictly. It has that versatility, while the Hammerhead just has missiles. Then in terms of cargo, it has more SCU cargo than the Hammerhead. It has 50 SCU of cargo. And CIG has also shown that it can hold an Ursa rover if you want to carry a ground vehicle. So a ground vehicle about that size can fit in it. I believe the Hammerhead can also carry an Ursa, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So let me know in the comments down below. And in terms of price, it's coming in at $675. Okay, so right now it's on concept, so it's cheaper than the Hammerhead, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes up to the same 725 when it is available to fly in game, right? From concept to flyable, ships usually go up in price, and it would kind of make sense because I kind of feel like the Perseus has very similar capabilities to the Hammerhead in terms of component sizes. Again, same size shield, very similar SCU amounts, very similar lengths. It kind of makes sense to sit at that, if not 725, maybe 700. So that's my estimate on that. Now, in terms of amenities, the Perseus has some of its own, of course, crew quarters, captain's quarters, which is very nice. I do appreciate that both of these ships have captain's quarters. Um, the Perseus has a little bit less room on the inside of it, right? But it does have escape pods, which are nice. I think that when CIG released the Hammerhead, they were not as inclined to the escape pod thing as the Hammerhead. But both these ships have docking collars, so on the side here, the Perseus has a docking collar as well. So you have the docking collar, you have escape pods, you have the crew area, you have a captain's quarters on the inside. I believe that you as well you have different armament for gun racks and whatnot. Now the Hammerhead is uh it's not gold standard, but it's getting closer to it, where it has a lot of the resource management stuff inside of it with relays and whatnot. CIG is getting ready to essentially get all of the ships on that level, right? So I fully expect the Perseus to have that as well, to be closer to gold standard when it's released, where you can do the resource management and engineering and whatnot with that ship. So, kind of, what's my conclusion about these two ships? I think that let's get into the use cases now. With the Hammerhead, again, this is designed to be a fighter screen. It's designed to combat fighters in a fleet scenario. We kind of saw how it was used during the Squadron 42 showcase at CitizenCon, where it kind of went up at the front of the field and tried to give cover to the other capital ships from fighters that were flying around. I think that are players going to use this ship like that? I really don't know. Again, the way that players have been using this ship in the past, I don't really see a lot of players using it like that anymore. We're really going to need, I would say, maybe still larger server, to be able to really facilitate that type of gameplay, honestly. And with the Perseus, I think the Perseus is a little bit of a better option for a smaller crew. Obviously, you can really still be dangerous with 2 or 3 players in this ship. Someone operating the torpedoes, a pilot, and then a gunner up at the front with those 2 size 7 guns. And then, of course, because it has those 2 large shields, you're pretty tanky. The Perseus is also supposed to have armor. It is kind of like an updated version of a very old ship, kind of like the Carrack as well, an older military ship. So back before they had shields and shield emitters, these military ships just had heavy armor. So the Perseus is supposed to have heavy armor as well. I think that a lot of people are probably very excited for the Perseus, and for good reason, in my opinion. I think that this ship checks a lot of boxes for people. I wouldn't say it's strictly soloable, but again, if you were to attempt to do that and put maybe, an AI blade in the turret, CIG has said that AI blades are going to come out for 1.0. So I wouldn't be surprised if people prioritize that, putting an AI blade, using AI blade with this ship. Again, for the Hammerhead, it's a little bit of a different story because you would need a lot of AI blades for all of those turrets. And of course, the way CIG has described it, AI blades are going to be a little bit less effective than NPCs, and NPCs are going to be a little bit less effective than players. So I think that with one size 7 and an AI blade in there, you might actually be a little bit more effective. Again, it's less for the computers to do, kind of less network load, in my opinion. There could be a whole number of factors that goes into it, but I think because of the Perseus's tankiness, because of its good amenities, similar amenities to the Hammerhead, its excellent firepower, the aspect, you can carry a little bit more cargo, ground vehicle. I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about the Perseus, especially with its price. I fully expect it to be on sale for Fleet Week for I don't think that it will be straight to flyable. I know a lot of people have been kind of theorizing that CIG might make it straight to flyable for Fleet Week Invictus. But realistically, it takes a very long time for these ships to go through development. I know that CIG kind of did a sneak peek of this ship during CitizenCon, where they have that panel where they show us all of the ships that they're working on for the next 12 months. Strictly speaking, because CIG has the Polaris completed, they are more likely going to use a lot of the doors and the room kits, like the sleeping arrangements from the Polaris, and use them in the Perseus, which makes a lot of sense. That's how CIG has basically said they're going to do it. They're going to work on a manufacturer's kit to make it a little bit easier for them to make other ships from that manufacturer. But I want to know what you guys think. Which ship do you already own? Do you already have a Hammerhead? Do you have a Perseus from concept that you're excited about actually getting added to your hangar finally? Are you planning on picking up a Perseus when it comes out? How do you plan on using it? Are you going to kind of wait for those larger silver caps or 1.0 rather, where there's that station warfare where you have a larger reason to use these capital ships? Or are you going to start to kind of use it a little bit of an exploration, like a heavy exploration ship going out there doing stuff in Pyro? I want to know from you guys. Also suggest other comparisons you want to see, other ship suggestions that you want to see from me. I love talking about ships and Star Citizen, so I'm always open to suggestions in the comments down below. But with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me again in this video. I always appreciate you guys coming through. The videos have been doing really well lately, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. But like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Salut!